The gentleman from Georgia is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's not a surprise why we're here. The gentleman from Arizona, it's not a surprise. They have nothing else to put on the floor except political statements a month before an election and to further an agenda that they don't like with ICE and the immigration process, which we've heard now in the Judiciary Committee for well over 2 years. Again, no actionable items that actually could fix them, but a lot of talk. So let's continue in this just amazing reason we're here on the floor. Because the majority has embraced this absurd, baseless accusation that employees and doctors at the Irwin County Detention Facility in my home state of Georgia are engaged in a conspiracy, this is amazing, with local doctors to systematically sterilize illegal aliens. They have proven to the American people that no story is too outlandish to use in furtherance of their radical agenda. It would be a completely different situation if we were standing here today to take action on substantiated claims of mistreatment, but we're not. We are here today so that the majority can squeeze an attempt one last time to get value out of false claims propagated by Project South's complaint about the Irwin County Detention Facility in Ocilla, Georgia. The left knows these complaints are not true, but they're hoping we'll ignore the mountain of evidence contradicting them, and I have news for them. We're not, Madam Speaker. The claim of mass hysterectomies if the claims were true, or even if they were substantiated by the smallest amount of evidence, then there'd be swift action. But to the contrary, and to the dismay of the majority, colleagues, the claims of mass hysterectomies were quickly proven false mere days after the complaint was released. In fact, just as Mr. Scott said, just days later, both the hospital and the detention center confirmed only 2 such hysterectomies were performed since 2017. But that didn't stop the whistleblower. That didn't stop Project South. That didn't stop us from bringing this show to the floor of the House. In fact, in the complaint, Ms. Wooten called the doctor at the center a uterus collector. Where does he go back to get his reputation back from? From somebody who, in a group who makes basic claims? I need to remind Project South, they don't have speech and debate privileges like we do. They got to be careful about what they are slandering and how they're doing it. She has spoken out about several inmates who have had hysterectomies. Even more sensationalized, Ms. Wooten stated that everybody he sees has a hysterectomy. Just about everybody. This is what she's talking about the doctor. Project South alleges that the detainee at the facility had talked to 5 different women detained between October and December 2019 who had hysterectomies done. But both the detention facility and the local hospital have clear evidence directly contradicting this hearsay. Records showing the only detainees at 2 of them had hysterectomies since 2017. Let that sink in. Only 2 since 2017. How can they claim mass hysterectomies performed by the uterus collector to be true? The simple answer is they're not. And in fact, Project South's attorney and lead investigator, as was already said, admitted to the Washington Post that they had not even spoken to or identified a detainee claiming to have undergone a hysterectomy. The group providing these claims has no evidence to back them up, but nonetheless, we're here embracing them and continuing to perpetrate a falsehood. Sounds like a little bit of another resolution we're dealing with here today. As the facts have come out and disprove these absurd claims, did the Democrats acknowledge they were wrong? No, there's been no acknowledgement that they're wrong. They conveniently shifted their argument to uninformed consent and expanded the allegation to medical procedures generally and the lack of adequate translation services to strengthen their faulty arguments. But even those fail. According to the employees at the facility, the center has a 24-hour access to interpreters for virtually every language which they consistently utilize. In fact, they even have made several remote medical interpreters which specialize in relaying medical terms and advice to non-English speakers. Clearly, the majority does not care about the credibility of their witnesses or their whistleblowers. They want the trip. They want publicity. They want the political aspect of this because we're coming to the real reason. As long as they espouse these claims, then allows them to continue their attacks on 2 places, the President and law enforcement. We have seen this during sham impeachment, and we've seen it here again today. The Democrats have already expended a lot of time and effort trying to make the claim in this complaint true, writing letters to DHS, IG, and traveling to Ocilla. In fact, just 2 days after the release of Project South's complaint, 173 Democrats wrote the DHS, IG urging an investigation centering on the cause almost entirely in Ms. Wooten's debunked claims of mass hysterectomies. 173 just jumped. Now that's a mass progression to something. 173 on a debunked complaint that has already been done. They have conveniently failed to update the DHS, IG, and the American public that their claims of eugenics conspiracy in South Georgia have been proven false. They have also conveniently failed to mention that according to its website, Project South is committed to ending the use of local police to enforce what they characterize as the federal government's draconian and racist immigration policies. Further, the group boasts a goal of shutting down immigration centers and is a frequently user of the hashtag #AbolishICE. To set the record straight, Representative Austin Scott and I wrote a letter to the DHS-IG to shed light on the developments and that followed Project South's complaints and the group's anti-law enforcement, anti-Trump agenda.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I yield 3 more minutes to Mr. Collins.
The gentleman is recognized for 3 minutes.
In the quest of their further radical agenda, the left has cast a shadow over an entire town in Georgia. This is more than just political fodder here for this floor when the majority has nothing else to put on this floor and wasting the American people's time here. This goes back to disparaging a respected doctor in the community, an Indian-American immigrant who provides free medical services to low-income patients simply for political gain. The doctor has been viciously slandered by the left's accusation that he carried out mass hysterectomies. Frankly, he should sue these organizations. It's truly sad to see the lengths that the majority is willing to go to advance their own misguided policies, and they should apologize to the doctor and to the center. It's clear to me that Project South has ulterior motives, and it's dangerous that the majority is permitting the group's complaint to serve as the foundation of a resolution which so many of the claims have already been failed under scrutiny, and the credibility of the entire complaint is shattered by Project South's anti-ICE motives. Despite Democrats' wishes, the American people deserve to know the truth, and they deserve to see the motives behind the claim. An investigation is always there. An investigation can start. But it's pretty amazing that the investigation, 173 of my majority colleagues rushed to sign a letter without even knowing the facts, and especially because it had salacious details that they could get at ICE and to get at a system that they don't like, actually protecting the American public and enforcing our immigration laws. Project South is an anti-law enforcement organization that has stated mission is shutting down detention facilities that included patently false claims in a complaint to the Department of Health, DHS-IG. Detention facilities in Irwin County Detention Center serve an important purpose in upholding a nation's immigration laws. And efforts like this one to disparage them and shut them down, and by choosing to ignore facts the favor of fiction, is disgraceful. Not even meeting with the hospital administrator. Again, what are we here for? This is shown to be exactly what it is. This train's on the tracks. We're putting this up here for political purposes because, frankly, Madam Speaker, the majority has nothing else to put up. So let's get a last couple of days in to throw at our favorite targets, ICE, this administration, and who cares who we hurt? A hospital, a community, and a doctor who simply was doing their job. This is an investigation that needs to happen, and the smear needs to stop now.